You will likely know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the A-list movie superstar he is today. Since ending his career as a professional wrestler, The Rock has starred in some of the biggest Hollywood releases of the last decade. However, it hasn't always been this good for the California-born actor, has it? According to movie rating website Rotten Tomatoes, he has starred in some fairly bad movies. Here are The Rock's 10 worst rated movies. We start the list at number 10, G.I. Joe Retaliation. G.I. Joe Retaliation, released in 2013, begins our list of The Rock's worst rated movies. The movie saw the once beloved children's toy soldier brand, G.I. Joe, make a not-so-spectacular mark on mainstream culture. The John Chu directed movie acted as a sequel to 2009's Rise of Cobra, and front and center in this movie was The Rock, alongside Channing Tatum. Johnson played Roadblock in this movie, the character's second in command to Tatum's Duke character. Commercially, the film grossed over $375 million worldwide, but was less successful when it came to ratings. Not even a role played by action superstar Bruce Willis could save this movie from the wrath of Rotten Tomatoes users, who rated this film 48% on average. But is there far worse to come? At number 9 is the next worst rated film starring The Rock. Another film from the year 2013 takes up our next spot. Pain and Gain sees The Rock in his element as he plays the role of a 1980s Florida bodybuilder named Paul Doyle. The film follows Doyle and his notorious friends known as the Sun Gym Gang as they get involved in all sorts of trouble after a kidnapping. The Michael Bay film is based on a true story and packs some real acting talent in co-star Mark Wahlberg. The pairing have good chemistry and fit their roles well. I mean, how could The Rock not play a bodybuilder? Unfortunately, the film's star power didn't convince viewers though, and the movie has scored just 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. This makes it The Rock's 9th worst movie. In the scale of things to come, this isn't bad, however. Stay here to see more. At number 8 is Race to Witch Mountain. Race to Witch Mountain sees The Rock star in this 2009 Disney remake of a 1975 kids sci-fi classic. Johnson plays Jack Bruno, a taxi driver who gets caught up in two kids' fantastical story. The Las Vegas-based story didn't cut it with viewers though, reflecting in a 44% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Theatergoers felt the family-friendly movie was just not up to scratch when compared to the original, which was hugely popular back in the day. Oldies looking for a shot of nostalgia just couldn't get their fix from this reiteration and let their feelings known online. The Disney remake sits at number 8 in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's all-time worst rated movies. How low will the ratings drop? Stay here to find out in Race to the Worst Rating. Audiences thought the next film on our list was anything but cool. Released in 2005, Be Cool is one of The Rock's earlier films in his budding career as an actor. The Gary Gray directed sequel to the critically acclaimed Get Shorty didn't fare too well amongst viewers, who felt it was rather too self-indulgent compared to its predecessor, which starred John Travolta. Funnily enough, The Rock plays the role of a bodyguard who aspires to be an actor in this one, while the stars Una Thurman, Danny DeVito, and Harvey Keitel took the lead roles. The movie is rated 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it The Rock's 7th worst rated movie. Okay, Be Cool fared poorly, but what's to come shocked fans of The Rock as the ex-wrestler played a character totally out of the ordinary for his career. Many wouldn't have predicted Dwayne Johnson as a fantastical fairy in the 2010's Tooth Fairy. This movie saw The Rock move firmly into the mainstream as he acted alongside the likes of Julia Roberts and Ashley Judd. A tough, no-nonsense ice hockey player who takes joy in knocking out the teeth of his opponents, The Rock is recruited to spend 2 weeks as a Tooth Fairy, complete with pink dress and wings. Even the Hurricane might have been able to make fun of Dwayne in his extremely feminine costume, but who knows, he still looks good. Though funny in parts, the release was savaged by critics, and Rotten Tomato rates it at just 41%. Can you guess what movies from Johnson's filmography rank even worse? The movie at number 5 on our list sees things continue to go south for Johnson. The Rock joined a cast that included Justin Timberlake, Kevin Smith, and Sarah Michelle Gellar in the 2005 film Southlands that would ultimately flop at theaters. Johnson is central to the storyline as an action star with vital political connections. The screenplay from Richard Kelly was intended to be a dystopian comedy thriller, but fell flat amongst critics and received a poor reception at the Cannes Film Festival. You could say the 2.5-hour release overstretched the mark, pardon the pun. The film's ratings went south real quick at 41%. Maybe it tells you all you need to know about this poorly executed production. Southland Tales marks the midway point in our countdown of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's worst-rated movies. The next movie takes us to outer space, though the ratings could be said to have dropped like a fallen spaceship. Movie number 4 on this list sees The Rock make a less than ideal move to animated movies. The animated Planet 51 sees The Rock voice this movie's protagonist, NASA astronaut Charles T. Baker. The 2009 sci-fi comedy sees Baker discover Planet 51, which resembles a 1950s America frozen in time. Was Texas launched into space? Just a joke, guys. Despite the interesting concept, this TriStar production, animated in Spain, fared poorly in the ratings, although the expensive creation did turn a profit. Fellow actors Jessica Biel, John Cleese, Gary Oldman, and Seann William Scott couldn't save The Rock from Rotten Tomatoes' rating of this cartoonish film, just 40%. You could say the ratings were the opposite of out of this world. How low before the 40% point will see The Rock's worst-rated movies rank? Stay right here to find out. At number 3 on our list, The Rock's first solo film. The Scorpion King will always be remembered as The Rock's first solo film. As a prequel to The Mummy Returns of 2001, this film explored the heroic backstory of the movie's arch-villain. Set 5,000 years before the events of the Mummy series, the barely clothed Johnson gets to show off his physique as he plays Matthias of Akkad, who embarks on a dangerous yet heroic journey in an ancient land. Though this early career movie from Dave Bautista saw 3 sequels commissioned for the series, critics weren't convinced. Rotten Tomatoes warns viewers action adventures do not get much cheesier than The Scorpion King and rates it at 37%. This is where it begins to get really bad for the beloved Johnson. Keep watching to see the ratings dip. Second from the last on our list, you could say this movie was doomed by audience ratings. Released in 2005, Doom was the highly anticipated movie crossover of the hugely popular video shooter video game of the same name. With plenty of original content to work with and gamers waiting to watch, this movie could have been a big success. Unfortunately, this monster shooting screenplay drew comparisons to a poorly done rework of James Cameron's Aliens, though. The film does feature some humorous moments, and The Rock looks his element as he plays the gun-toting Sarge alongside co-stars Karl Urban and Rosamund Pike. But the film never really finds its feet. Rotten Tomatoes rates Doom 34%, making it the second worst film of The Rock's career. What monstrosity will make it ahead of this film as the worst-rated film from Dwayne Johnson? Stay tuned for the final film. And finally, by some margin, we arrive at The Rock's worst ever rated movie. Well, here we are. Empire State marks rock bottom for The Rock in terms of his acting career. The 2013 release sees Dwayne Johnson act alongside Liam Hemsworth and Emma Roberts in an armored car heist drama set in the Big Apple. The Rock stars as the aptly named police detective James Ransom, not at all cliched, who is attempting to track down the heist perpetrators. Based on a true story, maybe this film needed some hyperbole as the movie performed terribly. Though The Rock's films often rate poorly, they usually profit quite well at the box office, but this film is a true outlier. It is one of the few screenplays The Rock has starred in which went straight to DVD release, and what was perhaps a sign of what was to come. Rated just 24% by Rotten Tomatoes, this film is by far the worst rated movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, cementing its place at number 1 in this video. For sure, this is one which The Rock will want to forget. That rounds up The Rock's worst rated movies. Though we'll all be familiar with Dwayne Johnson's successful starring roles, it helps to know that he has faced some challenges in his acting career too. As always, we hope you enjoyed this video, and please make sure to share your views on the list in the comments and give the video a like. Until next time.